there weren't three separate taglines you could fire off in a row?
I couldn't find any taglines, so I'm gonna do what I did for the Amityville episodes and make one up.
This house is scary.
Yeah. All right.
It's bad. Go ahead.
This house is also very bad. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
I hate a bad house.
Welcome to episode 160 something. Haven't figured that out yet. Of I Hope You Suffer.
Somewhere
My
somewhere
name
in there.
is Nathan,
I'm Kit.
I am Katie.
and this week we are joined by Kat and Jazz from Girl That's Scary to
Howdy.
Woo!
discuss the
Yip, yip, yip.
Meat Wad Wearing Shoes movie.
Okay.
No.
I'd watch that film.
I would too.
I'd watch the shit out of that film.
We are talking about the Hell House LLC trilogy, as picked by Kat and Jazz.
Yeah. Y'all
Um,
can't see me. I'm punching the air.
yeah, so this is Hell House LLC, Hell House LLC 2, the Abaddon Hotel, and all that other stuff, but Lake of Fire at the end for the third one.
Yes.
I think 2015 through 2019, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, so why Hell House?
Why?
Because yes. Hell House LLC is one of me and Kat's favorite movies. We love found footage. It has some decent scares. It was just set up pretty nicely for a low budget film. Now the second one is not as good as the first one, but does it still have a few scares? Yes. The third one, I'm just here to see how the story ends. Yes, that's literally it. This was a random find on Shudder, like one of those you woke up on the Shudder stream and there's some old bullshit on. But I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? And I happened to catch it right at the beginning. I was shook. So I'm glad everyone else has time to check in on it, even if you were scared or not.
Yeah, so the idea for this is and then after you listen to this episode, if you listen to it when it comes out, wait a couple days and check the Girl That's Scary feed. We will be on theirs. And what we're doing is Kat and Jazz picked, the idea was to pick 3 movies that we all love to watch on Halloween. So on I Hope You Suffer, we're talking about Kat and Jazz's picks. And then on Girl That's Scary, we will be talking about me, Kit, and Katie's picks, which we will tease at the end. So yeah, Hell House LLC. I hadn't seen these. I think Katie maybe had seen one before. I don't know if Kit had seen them.
I hadn't.
Yeah, I've heard like a lot of people I know talk about these movies to different extents of likability. Even as you all just said, like, y'all love 1, 2, you're kind of like, all right, get out of here, and then 3, kind of just trying to see the end of the story, which I got a hot take that I think 3 was the best.
Wow. Okay.
That is a very hot take.
We'll get into it. Personally, and I've talked about it on here before, especially Katie and I are watching these fucking Amityville movies for the Patreon, where
For the past 2 months,
once
3
it
months,
hit
5 years.
well, once it hit
It
2010,
feels like 10 years.
they're all like found footage movies,
Oh.
and like, or not, not all of them, but I think we did like 3 of like one, like we do like 4 an episode, and like 3 of them one episode were found footage, and just so bad at it, like. Because found footage is one of those things that's like you either have to be like on point for it to be good, or it's just like unwatchable sometimes. And the Amityville one's pretty fucking unwatchable. So yeah, like I said, the first one for me, I was like, okay, this is fine. Like I get it. It's found footage. It's not a genre I'm very into, other than like Like, I feel like what I like about VHS is VHS has things in it where I'm like, okay, I like this segment, but I really like this segment. So I could, like, if I felt like it, I could jump in and watch, like, that fucking Cult House one in VHS too.
Oh my god.
And, like, there's things like, I like in Paranormal Activity, I think 3 is the one where they're in, like, the 90s. Like, I like the idea of them being like, this is all, like, VHS. And then you have, like, the idea that somehow they put, like, this VHS camera on a fucking rotating fan somehow. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but I'll go with it. And so, like, I don't know. I have, like, a weird relationship with found footage that, like I said, I have some hot takes with these 3 movies. But I want to hear kind of what Kit and Katie felt before we dive into them.
Katie, go for it.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I had seen this. I actually saw the first one when it came out. I had a friend that I was living with at the time that we would just like not to specifically call it this, but we would just like pick shitty looking stuff to watch, right? And so like we watched like the Blair Witch Project like sequels and just like stuff like that. And so I had actually seen this before, and just the first one. I actually, until recently, did not realize that there were any sequels. And it's fine. I personally do really like found footage, but kind of like what Nathan said, I do feel like it's hard to pull off and you have to do it correctly. And there were a couple things in this movie that I remember the first time watching, like, did actually give me the goosebumps. And I think because I was kind of like anticipating them to happen, it, like, I remembered, even though it had been a couple years, I remembered all of the scares in this one. So I still like enjoyed rewatching it. Like, it's totally fine. I love that you guys are so into this movie though, because I feel like most of the people that I've seen talk about it like don't like it at all, and I feel like there are some things in it that I do really like compared to like some of the other found footage stuff that I've watched recently. So I think it's totally fine. I think if you like found footage, it's worth the watch.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like not everything could be Wreck, like the first Wreck, which I feel like is like a pretty perfect found footage movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or like,
yeah.
I'm not like, Blair Witch isn't a movie I necessarily like, but I get like why it's considered like the masterpiece, I guess, of like found footage movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know where I'm going with that. Kit, what what did you think?
So I enjoyed the first one pretty well. It was pretty decent. I really like the atmosphere. It does a good job of building a really creepy atmosphere. And anytime you have suddenly appearing clown men anywhere, automatically like, fuck that. I don't want any part.
He's real freaky too, and he's like iconic. Like when you see that fucking clown mask, like you know what I mean?
You know, it's a whole lot of hell no going on in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck this.
Look, I feel like that anytime I see any clown, so
yeah,
I mean
that's
true. This clown was very tall, and he had a lot of clown to him. You know what I mean? He was menacing.
It is Nathan in a mask.
How dare you?
But yeah, the sequels I did not care for. I like the angle that the second one tried to take by like bringing in a psychic and it's on a TV talk show kind of talking about it, but it was a lot more just kind of talking and exposition, whereas the first one was, hey, we're in the house and creepy shit is happening basically all the time. And then I honestly could not tell you what happened in the third one.
So like I had the opposite where I like 2 I was just like, oh my god, why is there so much fucking exposition in this? Like like I guess the premise of 2 I was kind of like, okay, like this is at least interesting, but then it was just like it's so much talking that it kind of like takes it out of like the creepy factor that like the first one kind of had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like not as immersive.
The third one for me, I really liked the idea behind it of like they're doing this fucking weird play, and like I was fully on board with 3 until the very end, and then it like fell apart for me.
Yeah. Let me tell you, we're in the same fucking boat with 3.
I was like,
also.
Well, like I guess real quick, like 3, like when I got to the end, I was like, come on. But I'm also like at the same time, I'm kind of like, if they make another one, is it just gonna be they're trapped in this purgatory house? Like, what the fuck is that gonna be about?
I got the answer, Sway. I got the answer.
That's what I want.
Oh my gosh.
I follow them on Facebook, so I just wanted to expose myself right there.
Right.
You know, how like, really into this shit I am. So the update is, yes, there was supposed to be another movie. It was supposed to be Hell House LLC, like the Abaddon tapes, the tapes they found in the basement. I got those on the tapes.
Me too.
But they were like, the budget is a little shaky right now, so the project is kind of halted. That, and including them like even trying to get like money to have DVDs for all of them. So somebody's got to get the GoFundMe popping, because I need to know what the hell's on them tapes.
Let me tell you who will be a producer. Me.
I feel
I'm
like
going to give the money.
I feel like these movies are like popular enough that if they did a Kickstarter, they would probably be able to get like their budget.
Imagine.
I mean, hell, even the third one that seems to be like the least popular has like a 4 out of 5 on Shudder. Like, I feel like people like these movies, so like, I don't know. I feel like the Kickstarter would be like an easy way to go about it, but I also understand how like anxiety producing Kickstarter could be.
Yeah, I definitely get it, but also like, come on, I'm trying to open my purse. I'm trying to see.
Followers on Facebook.
Literally, if all us giving them $1 too.
That's a real sentence I'm using in 2021. I follow them on Facebook.
Can't believe it.
Is it just like a page for the movies, or is it like the director?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like the page for the movie, and the people, I'm assuming they're all just one band, one sound. They just all work in the whole shaboop.
Yeah.
And it's, and that makes sense. But they're actively updating and saying what's going on. And it was just updated like twice in the past, like 2 weeks, maybe more than that. So,
wow.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and follow them.
More than my Facebook, because I ain't been on my Facebook in weeks.
Shit, I deleted my Facebook like 2 years ago or something like that. So
my Mima on there, so I got to stay on there for Grandma Jean, because she ain't got the gram. She don't really know how to work that.
Get her on Twitter.
Oh no. Grandma Jean is problematic. She can't go on Twitter. Now I got to defend my grandma.
The way I see it,
she'll be saying some shit, and I know this shit wrong. But they done gagged that for her.
All I'm saying is, if you're on Twitter, you're problematic, because Twitter is problematic. So
I mean, true.
She's problematic offline. No, she's problematic offline. She about to bring that smoke to the Twitter streets. I want to be like, Lord Jesus, y'all please leave my grandma alone.
All right, so let's jump into.
She's like live tweeting in real life. She doesn't need to be on the internet.
Let's jump into the first movie, which I know, like, at least because I've listened to. You guys have done like a handful of episodes on either like found footage or kind of related movies, and I know this first one is like, maybe would you say this is your favorite found footage movie?
Wow.
It's definitely, for me, it's like definitely top 5.
Yeah.
Because I like Blair Witch or whatever. It's fine. It's a good time. I do like Blair Witch. Not going to hold y'all. I just don't feel like Blair Witch was as scary as watching this the first time. Yeah. This shit was like, Kid said, this atmosphere is wild as hell. Them in the house, like, ooh, how many people you supposed to see in here? It's 3 in here. There are 4 bodies.
Absolutely.
Excuse me?
No.
Almost jumped out my skin.
Mm-mm. This movie, like, I would also say it's in my top 5. I want you to know, every time we all say top 5, I'm thinking top 5, top 5, top 5.
Yes.
But it's also in my top 5. I feel like, and it's not 5. It's not number 1. It's just kind of floating between 3 and 5. Not really sure. My lists look weird. They're like little lily pads. But it feels like a docudrama. Like, it's given very much like first 48, but something that come on A&E. Maybe Snapped. I don't know. But now we're dealing with like real life shit. Like they're going in here, and it makes sense. It seems y'all talk about this with y'all all the time. Stuff that feels like it could really happen scares me. And like you said, anytime you randomly throw a clown in there that is moving itself by, oh hell no.
The head move, but the heads don't move.
No, just no. What are these tapes in the basement? I just
like.
Also, where that fucking nasty ass shoe come from? They set the table in there. The motherfucking clown had a little dishcloth like he about to take their order. I want off the ride.
I screamed. I really did. I said, hell no.
I really like the idea they had going behind this, because when I went into it, I just assumed it. I just thought it was just a straight up like found footage movie. I didn't realize these were kind of like, I guess, quote unquote, like mockumentary type movies. And so, like, I really liked that idea behind it. Like, I think what I wanted is I wish the director, as opposed to these three being, like, the only movies he had made, I wish this would have been his, like, 4th, 5th, and 6th movie. So that, like, he had, like, I get, because I think so the thing with these that take me out of it that, like, has happened with the Amityville ones was the, like, when you have a found footage thing, like, I hate the digital effects of, like, the glitching of the screen, if that makes sense. Like, that kind of stuff takes me out of it a little bit. So, like, anytime that stuff would happen, I would be like, oh, I wish that was just, like, more, I guess, even, because I know, like, I guess the ones, like Paranormal Activity, it's probably still all, like, digital effects doing that, but I feel like those look more in camera than these do. But it's also like I can't really fault him because he's working with the budget he has, making his first movie, stuff like that. Like, you work with what you have. But just little things like that, like we did, I forget which one. It's like all the Amityville ones blur together, but whatever the one is where the dude tries to fight the ghost child.
I think it was Haunting.
Like,
what a sentence.
Yeah, there's a dude gets mad at like the little girls being like friends with the ghost kid in the house, and he, like, in the camera it just shows him like wildly punching at nothing.
Like literally fist fighting a 9-year-old boy, a dead ghost child.
Wait a minute. Is this the movie that I bought from the Dollar Tree that I told you I was so excited to watch?
No. That's the worst movie I think I've ever watched. Good luck with that.
Oh God, no.
Wait, which one?
What you bought?
I bought it from the Dollar Tree. And you said this is the worst movie.
It's Amityville Mount Misery Road. That's brutal.
Oh, okay.
That sounds
I thankfully
stupid.
did not watch that
but
one.
what that Amityville movie did is, like, all of the like kind of camera effects are so, like, it's just like brutally obvious that it's all like digitally done, that it ruins that movie. And like this one, it didn't ruin it for me, but it takes me out a little bit, where I just kind of wish some of those effects, like I said, like if this would have been his like 3rd or 4th movie where he maybe had done stuff before where he had like more of that experience behind him, I think I would have enjoyed that aspect of it more. But I think some of the stuff they pull off, like practically, of just like, someone will lean down and like their head's blocking and then all of a sudden someone's run up behind them. Like, they do that shit really well in this, and I don't think a lot of found footage is great with that stuff, but I think, especially in this first one, I think he does like a great job pulling off just some of that shit. Like, again, with just like the clown, where all of a sudden, like, they walk by the clown and he's like looking straight forward, and then like something blocks the camera for like half a second, and like I can't imagine the planning that takes to pull off shots like that.
Jesus. I mean, I wouldn't know, because the digital effects, they don't bother me because I'm not tech savvy, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing on the computer. I'm like that dog at the computer. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I can't tell what's digital and what's not, because I don't fucking know. I know it's a tape that's on the camera, it's glitching. I don't know how they did it with the effects either way. So I'm just like, oh, that can't take me out, because it's like when you put a sign on the door and it's like, that don't matter. I can't read. That's me. I'm like, what? I don't know.
I also think it's like it's also, I guess, like, obviously it's just like a thing with me, like my preference or whatever. But like, I also think it's because I like all of the stuff like Blair Witch and shit was coming out, where it's a different thing, where it's like, a physical camera as opposed to where they're doing it with like a digital camera. So I don't know if you get those kind of glitches with like a digital camera that you get in stuff like an old school like handheld camera where it kind of already looks VHS style. So like it's just like it's what it is. But it's just like some of that kind of stuff like takes me out of it a little bit, and like I don't know. That's kind of like the one thing I bumped into with at least the 3 of them where I was like, oh, I just kind of wish that was just a slightly better. But it's also, again, like you said, like especially if they're kind of at that point where they're like, we can't really do anything DVD wise because of like finances. Like I get it, work with what you have.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say,
I
Katie?
agree, but I agree, like, the glitching and stuff takes me out of it, and it's not really, for me personally, it's not even so much the visual of it, but it's, like, the sound effect they put behind it just really bothers me. But I do think that, like, it's a lot easier to pull off, number one, like you said, with something that's older, and then also if we're talking about something like Paranormal Activity, where a lot of that movie is not in color, like, I feel like because this movie is found footage, but it's just, like, in color, I feel like the effects that they put on the film stand out more, and like that's something that I also recognize that bothered me. But
I think the thing that I get, because the first one it wasn't so much, it's when you get to 3 where it'll do the glitches, but it's glitching into the past movies.
Yep.
Those were the ones that I was
Yeah,
kind
I
of
did
like,
not
ooh,
care
I
for
don't like
that.
this.
I also like didn't really understand. I think that the thing that I complain about in a lot of movies is that, like, I don't like when I can't understand what the powers of the demon or ghost or being or mermaid or whatever it is. Like, I don't like when I can't piece together, like, this is what they can do, this is what they can't do. And so, like, overall, like, so, yeah, I don't understand why the camera was, like, glitching into the back, like, into the past. And then I think, well, we'll get there, actually. I don't want to skip to the third one. I had a lot of issues with the third one, but the things that I did like about... Go ahead.
I have an idea that just came to me. If Stephen Cognetti, I think is his last name, is listening,
Yeah.
4th movie.
I'm sure he is. Hey, girl.
4th movie, it's all found footage still, but it's just the real world, and it's just these people in Purgatory House living their lives, but it's just like it's it's not a horror movie anymore, it's just the real world.
Reality.
But then,
It's drama.
then they like set them down. Like, you know how some of the shows they do that after show where they like show things that were filmed behind their backs or whatever, and that's when they showed them the Abaddon tape.
Oh shit, I'm in.
I will, like a reunion show.
Look, I'm sending $1 now.
Yeah. Send him $1 in a letter with this is the plot of the movie. I was gonna say the things that I do like about this first movie is that, like, you guys already touched on the atmosphere being kind of it kind of had like a, whereas the Blair Witch isn't even my favorite like found footage, but I think that there's a lot, like, whereas the Blair Witch was like out in the woods and it was just like complete open darkness, where that has like a certain fear to it. This is the opposite, where they're just like stuck in a dusty old motel and it's like gross. They go in the basement and it's like, not only is it already sort of claustrophobic, but they're setting up, like, I love the idea that they're setting up like an extreme haunted house or whatever, right? I love that. And the fact that they're doing it in something that's already musty and gross, like you can like tell how like musty it smells in there, like it's just claustrophobic, and they're like building it up even more because they're adding like, you know, I don't know, fake walls and shit for people to pop out of. So I do like the atmosphere of it. I love the parts where they're like setting up the haunted house and going through what they've set up, but then like something else happens. Like, one of the standout moments in this movie to me is like everything with the clown, of course, like when he's on the top of the stairs or whatever. I think that's pretty iconic. But the part for me is when, I don't know anybody's name, but one of the guys goes to do like a walkthrough and they lock him in and he's like facing a hallway and it's all dark, but there's a strobe going and there's just like a person showing up sometime.
Yes.
Yeah. And I felt like oh my, I was like, I would throw up. I would pass out. I don't know what I would do. It's
He did throw up.
It's strobing. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I definitely would in that moment though, because it's like strobing and it's like hard to see. It's like one of those things where I love when movies do the thing where it's like really dark and you're kind of like squinting and like leaning forward to try and see like what's gonna happen, and then this guy just fucking pops up and he's like, And at first, I also like the mystery of like not knowing, like they don't really, like they know that there's like rumors surrounding the hotel or whatever, but they don't really think anything of it. And then it's kind of like, well, should I be scared, or is this just somebody else on my crew like fucking with me or not? And so they're not really sure until it gets like crazy, and then they're scared or whatever. So like those are the things that I liked. And then I do like the fact that like in this one, I think they did it well for me, where they show like well, obviously it's found footage, but then also they're like interviewing people about what happened, and there's like news reports and like crime scene photos or whatever. Like I like the way that they integrated all of that in this first movie. Doesn't really work for me in the other ones, but at least in this first one, I think they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I think 1 and 3 kind of do that. At least for me, that they're the ones that worked well. I think 2 spends too much time interrupting like the story with those kind of like news segments, and I'm like, okay, you did something scary, but now there's like 15 minutes of these people talking that I'm like, okay, now
down.
I've lost it. Like, I think 1 does a good job of kind of like keeping that tension built a little bit without interrupting as much. But I do. Go ahead.
Even when they do interrupt, a lot of times the news stories have another creepy detail that, like, they just talk about them taking pictures in the basement, and you see them taking pictures of this blood.
Or when it's that scene when Joey pulls up and all the people pull up the extra scare actors, and then they zoom in on his face, and you're like, what the fuck's going on with this camera work? And it has like, Joey vanished right after he made it out the house. He died because he killed himself. This is dark as fuck. Like, and then you see he's the first person you see in the beginning. That clown that booked it and got the fuck. So I'm like, damn, he dead too. Like, this is
wow, they beat his ass in his dreams or something.
I can't believe it.
That, like, I think one of the things I liked in, like, going through the movies was the flashback parts of where you'd see like, oh, this character from the first movie, this is like what actually happened to them. You find out in like 3 that like whatever happened to this character. I like parts like that kind of being woven in, like where they like were kind of building out their story but also kind of coming in on itself a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, there was shit where like, I forget which movie it was in, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember much of 2. 2 just kind of like left my memory immediately. They pick up the girl hitchhiking that like kind of like comes like, not even in like a big way, but they like reference later on. I was like, oh, I like that. Like, I like that they kind of like are building this mythos as it's going along. And then they just kind of fuck it up at the end of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else on this first one from anybody?
Watch it again.
Have you guys watched the director's cut that's on Tubi?
I have, and I it's like a couple scenes that were added that weren't there, and I will say I was a little nervous again. I cut off all the lights, not super scared, but you know how you'd be like, "Ooh, it's about to get creepy."
Yeah,
I like that.
I just wondered how different it was. 'Cause I saw it was over 2 hours, and I was like, I don't know if I want to invest 2 more hours.
It's a few different edits. Like some of the things play out just a pinch different. Not when I mean different, I mean like they might get the news scene first and then put the little found footage part, or the found footage part might come first and the news scene might come after, but it might be like 30 seconds longer. But then, like I said, it's a few basement scenes.
Okay.
That basement really freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, that basement sucks.
Everything about that basement screams hell no.
Pentagram on the wall and talk about something that was already here. What the fuck?
That's what I mean. Like, the minute I'd walk into a house, if I saw anything like that already on the walls, I'm like, I'm good. I'll buy.
No.
Basements are already starting off like negative.
I know.
Like, they're already bad news. So it looks like that. It's like, no, absolutely not. not going down
pentagrams,
that first step.
chains, and then like a bunch of fucking tall ass clown people. I don't think so.
That's, yeah, I hate these fucking clowns. All right.
The door in the red light, weird.
I will let y'all talk about two, because like I said, I don't remember much of this other than like extremely long like news segments that I was kind of like immediately out.
Okay, so 2 did spend a lot of time giving us like different snippets of people's experiences who were trying to like, oh, well, we heard this stuff happen, you know, from movie 1, and now I'm about to try to go viral and pop up there and do dumbass shit. Except for that couple who really was trying to help that girl out on the side of the road.
But they still stupid. You don't. Once she would have went to the boarded up house, I'd have been like, damn, that's crazy.
Oh, she home.
Let me call the police. Because I'm not going inside. Because why would you go in there? It's boarded up, you dummy. You deserve everything that happened to you. And y'all are right.
I agree.
They do a lot of what's the word? Just a lot of not storytelling in the great way, exposition.
Yeah.
And not only is there exposition through like this happened, that motherfucking talk show, which that girl motherfucking Contour. I don't know if everybody else seen it. Every time I see that bitch Contour, I get mad. And then because it was just so harsh. And it was a terrible color.
Between him and the reveal of the hotel owner really being on the stage the whole time, I just could not deal. Like, it was just like, surprise, I am Andrew Tully. I said, hell no, this is too much.
Also, y'all don't know what Andrew Tully looked like. Y'all don't know who the person you interviewed. What kind of journalism is this? Then y'all go into this stupid house. Like, y'all go in the house. Why Andrew Tully pull up at the end making them tales from to keep the fucking camera on? Come on. So you have a monologue, motherfucker. You are dead. Okay.
That's the Andrew Tully twist really confused me because how are you in the age that this movie came out, in 2018? How are you not gonna know what this like prevalent dude looks like? For him to call and be like, oh, sorry, I can't make it. And she's like, what do you mean? He was right here. Also, isn't that guy dead? Like, what's happening here? I don't understand.
I am crying right now because this is why this is one of my favorite franchises. It's chaotic. You might get a little scared. You'll walk out with question marks over your head. You don't know what the hell is going on. But it's probably like the best 4 to 6 hours of your life. Like, I don't know. Debate your grandma.
I think the only this is the one where the dude uses the planchette with no board in like the middle of it, right?
Yeah,
because he's stupid. He's stupid.
That's the only scene I really remember where I was just like, did he just write like a Y and N on the table and put a planchette down? Does that work?
Yep. He made the planchette out of thin air. That's what the fuck he did. And you know what? He fucked up because that part was creepy to me. Like, of course, I thought it was silly that this sidekick, if you a sidekick and you know what's going on, you should know not to go in this house. It's fucking trouble, dummy. Mm-hmm. But you thinking you could, talk to people. You are literally walking into a portal of hell. Okay, guess what? Go ahead. He talked about something. Do you want to hurt anybody? And the jank said yes and didn't move. I was like, oh. And then they turn around, the motherfucker standing up. No.
No,
thank you.
Nope.
I'm also in the no thank you club.
Yeah. But that's what they continue to do well in this movie. Like, even though it was like, God damn, somebody talking my head off, there was some parts that still like, at this point, I'm not scared anymore for real. It might be something like, ooh, it's a little dark. They cut. It gets silent, but it's never really actually silent. It's like that low humming noise. Mm. They definitely gave it to you in this movie, and I'm just like, all right, well. I think I was really upset with the between the CGI and the makeup of old girl at the end when they kind of do that quick camera reveal that she really got her ass beat by the demons. So she's like smirking into the camera, but then she has that straight face, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
all right, well,
girl, just murk yourself. Like, it's not that hard.
Or you
I know you can't really act that well, but.
The actors in the second one. I mean, but also, if they couldn't afford good contour, they couldn't afford good makeup.
True.
And I'm just sitting here.
It was very Party City.
Yes, and I'm like, for all that, I would have preferred for them to not have no makeup. She could have just smirked, and we already know what's up.
I know. Yeah, I think I also do not remember a lot of this movie because it was mostly just like people talking about stuff that happened, I guess. And the cutting between so many different people, like it opens up talking about this one guy who like went missing when he was a kid. He could play this song on the piano that we hear out throughout the whole thing. And it was just like I had like a little whiplash between like all of the people that went there or whatever. But the one scene that I remember that like in hindsight is kind of goofy, but at that time I was like, oh, I don't think so, is when like everybody, like the camera, whatever, whoever they were, the people were like in the house and they went to leave and they like looked down this corridor and like the door to the like the exit was open to the outside, but that fucking clown was like propped up there.
No,
I was just like,
no.
But then he like looked at them and the door slammed and I was like, oh no, because I'm like, just go, just walk out. Like, what can it? No. But then it slammed and I was like, oh, you're fucked now, because you know at that moment you're not getting out.
They
also,
had
my.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my thought was like, could they not just like bust out the windows?
I don't think so. I think they tried and nothing like was budging. Cause like we were talking about that moment. Like it's funny that you brought this up because we were talking about like, all right, how many seconds you think they got so they can get to the door for the door closed? Like I was just like,
right.
Somebody like one person sacrifice himself and do a high kick to the chest and just take the clown down.
But have you seen that fucking clown?
Yeah, that means one person had to sacrifice himself.
Right. It should have been Bad Contra Girl, to be fair, but
I agree. Okay, so I'm happy that you brought up the creepy sound, the creepy piano song. Okay. I'm stressed. I hear that shit in my sleep. I do. I dream every night, and my dreams are like really weird. But my dreams are very much like I don't even know if I'm awake or I'm asleep or not. That's how vivid they are. So when I wake up, I'm very much like, am I still asleep? I don't know. So every night's literally like either the zombie apocalypse has started, it's kicking our ass, or zombies are just still kind of there with some serial killer shit. So I know everyone's really concerned now. So when the every once in a while when that piano beat drops, and I'm really just shook because that is I love when movies put like some creepy ass music or, you know, go back to those old tropes of the piano's playing by itself in the corner. I'm like, hell yeah, it's getting crazy in here. Like, it's just simple stuff like that that really, you know, can make a movie that was maybe a 3, like a 5 for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's movie 2.
Yeah. Everyone dies, pretty much. That's all you get.
Yeah, that's pretty much how all these movies end.
I guess I just wish that, like, I do like in the first one, anytime there's like a blood trail streaking into a wall, you got me. Okay, that's freaky. And I liked that stuff, but I guess I just sort of wish that we saw more of the kills and less like random feral looking woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. We just don't, like, I know the budget was short, like not a lot or whatever, but like, I don't know. I just want to see what's happening. Like, what can the clown guy do? Like, I've seen him move a lot, but like physically, what can he do? Does he just like choke people out?
It might be on the tapes.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
What if he just does a really bad stand-up set?
That's what I'm wondering.
So
I will still be scared.
I have a theory now that
that
clown is just Joe Rogan.
Oh,
which makes this even scarier.
I agree. Could you imagine him coming at you and like talking with his voice and saying stuff? I would just drop dead.
My soul will just leave my body. That's it.
Yeah, see ya.
Katie would just throw up again.
100% I would.
Yeah, let's jump to 3 because I feel like 2 there's not much to really say about. Like, I think it would have been interesting if they like if they had done like a thing in between the 2 movies that was like the news segments to like tease going into 2 and just taking those out completely, or at least not as much in there, because yeah, like I said, those just kind of like there's too much of them and it just like interrupts the flow of the movie, I think. Yeah, so 3, like I said, I think is the best.
I'm ready for it. Let's
like,
hear it.
Let's hear it.
I was all in on the the idea behind it. Like, I don't know, I felt like the play was a more interesting take, or a more interesting idea than just like, oh, these people are just like in this house and shit's happening. Like, I kind of like the idea, and it was kind of along the lines of like the first one, where they're like, you get all the shit of them like building this thing, but instead of it being like a haunted house, it's this weird fucking conceptual play that makes no sense. Like, I don't know how this play is supposed to work out in reality, how they would pull this off, but I was like, okay, I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
Like, it was just I feel like it was just something I hadn't seen as the idea in like a found footage movie per se. Like, it's still like just, you know, or like kind of a general found footage movie, but I don't know, I liked the idea behind that play. I feel like I liked the hostess and camera guy for like, what was it, like something mysteries, whatever the show she's filming
Morning
for.
Mysteries.
Yeah, Morning Mysteries. I found like I liked her better than kind of the other two movies of like the person you're kind of following. Especially two, like the people in two that I was like, you follow, I was kind of like, I don't care about any of these people. And then, I'm a big fan of the terrible makeup job on dude's scar on his face.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, I hate this scar. It's so stupid.
It's so
But,
pronounced and weird.
So distracting.
Like, it's Party City. Like, y'all, he didn't have to get in a car accident. He could have had a heart attack, bro. It could have been anything. He didn't have to put this big stupid ass scar on his face.
You know they got to bring the drama.
And also with the play thing, that's an actual play. Like, the thing they were doing. Yeah, Thousands of play, but also reminds me of Cadaver. If y'all have seen that, I feel like it's on Netflix, where they have this situation, post-apocalypse situation where, you know, they are attending this play, and all the people who not in the play got the mask on.
Oh yeah.
And if you're performing, you can follow anyone in the play throughout the whole house situation. So I'm like, oh, they can wear masks and kind of walk around and kind of observe freely, you know, but they got the mask on, which is also fucking weird. Because I don't know what it is about those plain masks with no expression that are just one color. They are fucking stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it too. And I also like, from like the minute they show up, I was like, oh, these fucking weird angel statues, something's gonna happen with them. But
And I was struck for like 2 seconds.
Although I feel like it was CGI what they did, and I ain't like that.
Yeah.
they had like like, you know, at one point, because like they walk by them enough that I was like, all right, at some point one of these is just gonna be looking at the camera when they like you know, turn back to it. But then all they really kind of did with them was just throw blood on them, like the fakest looking blood I think I've ever seen.
It's what they could afford. It was literally red paint or literally cherry snow cone flavoring.
Which I can't. I guess as a fan of giallo movies, I can't complain, because most blood in giallo movies is like,
it's finger paint.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, so red.
It's like, it's opaque too. I'm like, this is not how blood looks.
I think it's just throwing it on like that bright white just made it so much more like pronounced that I was kind of like, ooh, that's not great. But I don't know, like I said, like we talked earlier a little bit, like up until you get to like, I think when shit starts going haywire in the play, like I was fully on board in this movie, and then it starts losing me because I was kind of like, what is this about? Like, where they ratchet up the kind of supernatural part of it, and it becomes less believable, where like, you know, spoiler, like the dude is now like a fucking angel from heaven stopping this portal from being open. I was kind of like, what the fuck?
I am not gonna lie, I hated that so much. I thought it was like edgy as hell. I was just like, God.
Like, I guess that like it didn't. I don't know. It's. I think it just kind of ungrounds the movie a little bit. It not like the other ones aren't necessarily grounded, but like they feel more realistic, which I think is part of the appeal with like found footage, and that kind of like, especially when like the extremely fake fire pops up when they're I was like, oh boy, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Is okay, yeah. The angel part, you know, I've only seen Abaddon Hotel 3 like Like, well, not Avalon Hotel. Well, Fair House LLC 3 maybe like 2 times. Because, I feel like after 2 times, that's enough, really. I'm going to go back and watch 1 as many times as possible.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, this is silly. And what really took me out, although I thought it was funny, is when, they having this battle for heaven versus hell, whatever. But the hell minions are coming up out the basement. They running up on motherfuckers in the parking lot. They pulling motherfuckers out the car. I was like, wait a minute.
Them people was off the property and they're still getting their ass beat. How? I would have been upset.
It's just uncalled for. It's
That like goes back to what I was saying when we were talking about the first movie, where I don't like when I can't understand what the powers are or what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That is like part of it, as well as like we said, the glitching where it was like showing us past footage on the fake camera. And I was like, why are you doing that? Like, they can't see that that's happening, or who you're trying to scare.
2 of the things I really liked in this, though, are when they're in the play and they're doing that weird like dinner table scene and the lights go out and it just comes back up and dudes just get like stabbed in the throat.
Yeah,
that was cool. That rules. And then it kind of goes back to what I said about like I think it's Paranormal Activity 3, where they have the thing on the oscillating fan, the camera on it, where they have the camera on the Lazy Susan in this. Like, I like that they kind of like make a point at the beginning of it when they're interviewing that bartender dude of like him having it on and all that shit. And it's like one of those things that you don't even think about again. You're just like, oh, that was kind of a weird throwaway line. And then it comes back at the end where the camera's just on it spinning in a circle, and it'll be like, half of it's just a blank wall and you just hear noise, but then you cut back around and it's just like these weird dudes in robes just stabbing the shit out of everybody.
Mm-hmm. I did like that too.
Yeah, old girl was hiding behind the bar. I'm like, girl, you about to get your ass beat. You can't get out of this house.
And she keeps popping her head up while shit's going on and no one notices. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, keep your fucking head down.
Girl, I would have became a bottle of rum. I would have literally turned into a liquor bottle. That's it.
Like an animorph. You just like you.
Transform. This is my life now.
I'm crying.
Someone's got to have to like just Photoshop an Animorphs cover. You turned it into a wine bottle now.
Do it. I don't know. I think, to me, this would have worked better if they like cut out the second movie and then just did this one, but like instead of making that guy an angel, just make it like normal, demonic, whatever you want to call it. Because I feel like in the first movie we have the hotel, which is kind of like infamous for shit happening, and then in the second one we find out that like other weird stuff is happening, or maybe it's the throw-in, I don't know. Apparently there's a bunch of shit happening. It's all crazy in this whole town. And then like all those journalists and shit get killed and they know about it. And then they start the third one by being like, oh yeah, we were going to demolish this house because like 1,000 people have gone missing, but instead we're going to sell it to this guy that's going to essentially do the same thing that happened in the first movie. And to me, that part of the continuity, I'm just like, that would not happen. Like, I don't know. I agree with you, though. I did like the idea of the play, I guess, because it just was so unique. But, like, whoa, I don't know. The ending really got me bitten at it. I busted out laughing whenever he was like, hey! And then, like, the fire showed up. I was like, what in the actual fuck is happening?
Well, I liked the like mystery aspect a little bit too, of where like she's like trying to put together kind of like, they're like, oh well, like something's going on with like his finances, and like there's all of that shit going on, and then you get to like the point where they're at that bar after hours or whatever, and he like whispers something to her, and I was like, I kind of got like hooked of like, what's happening here? Like, I don't know, it just felt a little more different than you get in like most found footage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I was on board, but yeah, like I said, like the ending is goofy as shit and kind of tanks it a little bit.
It was like a redemption song that wasn't needed. Like, we are very much team. It's okay if everyone dies.
Right.
Like, it's okay.
Right.
We didn't have to like you know, the guy fucked up. He asked you, you know, you fucked up and you made it so your friends are now stuck in this hell purgatory on Earth. And I'm sorry, eternal flames, you're stuck in this fucking haunted house. That's your life now. No one should have to be like, oh, well, yeah, well, they you know, I guess he was trying to make it all nice and stuff, but as my words get jumbled, that's how my thoughts work, trying to process what the fuck was happening. Like, why are you doing
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, they could have just, you know, where's Andrew Tully? Like, I just was like, please come back. I can't. His little shoes.
Yeah, Andrew Tully, this motherfucker with this big dumbass scar upstairs, like tussling in the attic.
I'm just tired.
Like,
I like his ill-fitting suit though. That was my favorite part about all of them.
He had a chopper suit on.
He did. You know, those are my favorites.
His business was never doing well, not with that suit on. Listen.
Oh shit!
You guys, that always Stacey Adams.
He did have a Stacey Adams on, and them, you know, trigger warning for suicide. But they had zoomed in on the Stacey Adams, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, y'all gotta cut this shit out.
It's just like,
listen, they would also not be showing that suicide photo on the news. Like, come on.
I don't know. I don't put stuff past that like the
No.
news anymore.
No.
They don't show bodies like that. Do they? Wait.
I know.
I
I
don't
agree with you guys,
Fox
though.
News might.
I didn't care about that guy at all, and anytime he was coming up and trying to give us a lecture about how whatever the fuck he was talking about, I assume had something to do with like how great he was because he's like a white dude. And I was just like, my brain shut off. I was like, bro, I do not care about what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the clown back. He was actually scary.
Yeah, when do we get the talking head with the clown? I want to hear his thoughts about what happened.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
Walk up to him with the little microphone. Excuse me, sir. Sir. You and the clown, the black and white, yes?
What
Do you have a few words to say about Hell House?
What did you think when
that
that
motherfucker said he'll beat your ass?
What did you think when that girl kissed your friend?
Were you jealous?
That's like, that was one of those ones too where like you know what's about to happen, and it builds that tension a little long, where I was kind of like in a good way, where I was like, okay, like they're blocking this clown that you know is there from the other movies for so long that like obviously he's gonna be looking, but like her reaction when she just has the camera and sees him looking at her in the camera, I was like, that kind of rules.
She
Yeah,
stopped.
I thought-
Get the fuck.
But also, that's what you get for kissing a clown.
That's what you get for going to that place after dark by yourself, dummy.
First of all, they said the place was haunted. Why the hell are you about to test this? If someone had told me, hey
Abaddon
girl,
eyes.
I heard your place was haunted. Well, I guess I'm not going there because I believe you, girl. Am I supposed to go and find out? Like, what? How about look, sitting up here trying to mind my business, setting up a haunted house, think we about to have a good old time, and some ghosts really pop out. I did not sign up for this, and you're not paying me enough.
Well, she also like was the one in the very beginning when they were like, "Did you watch like the video of all that weird shit happening before?" And she's like, "No, wasn't it fake?" I was like, "Bitch, you deserve it, okay?" And then she's just like, "I'm drunk. I'm gonna go in the basement." I was like, "I don't think so. Not me. I'm even more scared when I'm drunk, to be honest with you. I would not be going down there."
Listen, and I want you to know that Kat is, there are tears coming down her face because we have Hell House LLC on the background because,
And it's the director's cut.
and y'all know the part with a girl in his room and he trying to hide under the blanket, like that's supposed to stop the demons from beating your ass, but he keep peeking. If you're gonna hide under the blanket, you need to commit.
Yeah.
You needed to hide, yeah.
You
It's
can't be
just the
popping
scene.
your head out.
He was just like, "Oh shit, holy shit."
At that point, you should just know you're gonna die. Like, there's no reason
Yeah.
to look back out anymore. And I think what really is fucking me up is like he sits up and just like and the camera cuts really close. And I can't remember. I don't think that happens in the first version I saw. But it gets really close to her face to the point that I can tell these is contacts, but also I'm a little scared still. And she's staring directly at his face. I'm just like, hell no. Like, could you imagine being under the sheets on your iPhone, minding your business, scrolling the timeline, laughing in the dark, and somebody sitting in the corner staring at you? What the fuck?
And you just happen to look up and see them.
Mm-mm.
Now you looking at each other like the fucking Diddy gift.
Right. This, no.
I'm gonna be like, hey, did you see this TikTok? And like show it to her.
Maybe they might get him off your back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep talking for a minute. I have to go get a water. So I'll be back.
Water break time.
Yeah,
Everyone take 5.
I'm yelling. I'm really scared though, actually.
Yeah, no, that first movie is still like when they call man and they call Paul because he disappeared, and the scream that comes through the phone hurts their ears and they drop it. Y'all should have left.
It hurt my ears too.
Oh, I know. Especially like you saw the look on that guy's face. He was like, something fucked up's happening here, but then they're just like, Paul's disappeared before, and I'm like, okay, but in a haunted hotel, has Paul disappeared before? I know. I don't think so.
It just, nothing about it feels good. It just, I don't know. The first one will always be standard. I wish I could love movie 3. I want it better for movie 3. I think it really was everyone's in a happy purgatory place and we're just happy here. And this is our happy house and we live here in our happy house. There was no reason.
I don't mind like an ending where because like the way that they, first of all, it kind of, I don't really like when movies do like 2 endings. We do kind of get 2 endings where it's like the Fire Lake ending and then like the stuff after. But I do like how they just kind of woke up and were like, they don't remember that they were all murdered. They don't know what happened. They're just kind of like, are we all good? And they're like, I mean, I guess so. And they're just kind of like, they don't really know what happened. Like, I did like that part, but I don't know. I just feel like if the whole angel thing was left out, I feel like it would have just done so much good for the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, people love a good versus evil story. And also, that ending very much gave me sitcom.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They came back. We're alive. Girl, what?
Really? Fuck. Just not really excited about this.
Telling you, next movie's got to be just a straight up spoof of the real world of just those people in that house. Because they are immediately just like, well, I guess we better start drinking.
Do the reality TV show reunion.
Yeah.
Where it's like Rock of Love, and you get Ricky Rackman there as the host, and he's inviting people down to talk to him. Tell me about your time in Hell House.
I'm in. You know what? You put that on a DVD, I'm in. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Not Bret Michaels.
Bret Michaels has like he's actually coming back as a bonus host for this situation, and now has like the wig on that's made of all the virgin hairs from Russia, like he said in his show. Because I actually watched every episode of Rock of Love.
Oh yeah, Kit and I did numerous times.
Oh yeah, it's a comfort show.
Absolutely.
I have never seen one episode because I don't watch a lot of reality.
It's chaotic as you think it
I
is.
believe
Me
it is.
neither.
It's anything like flavor, anything of love, flavor love.
It
all
was
the
the
love.
rock and roll flavor of love.
Okay, so because Flavor of Love was fucking chaotic.
It was chaotic between that and Tila Tequila's show.
Oh,
I was here
God.
for
Man.
I ain't watched. Low to one I watched was Flavor of Love, and then I seen that bitch try to cook that chicken in that microwave, and I was like, wow.
Ew.
Like I'm like 10, and I know that this is a bad idea. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Oh, it's like the best scene.
Beyonce more like Luther Vandross.
I used to have a patch on my jean vest that was just New York screaming Beyonce.
Because you have taste. Literally, and the look on her face was her eyes were like, bitch,
Beyonce, sweetie, I'm sorry.
Oh God, what a perfect
when she
show.
poked that bitch in the head, it said because it applies. And she's doing great. I want everyone to know that Tiffany Pollard is doing great. She looks great. She's still fucking funny.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Real.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Real. Yeah.
Yep. Katie doesn't know anything we're talking about.
Like what?
Reality TV.
I'm gonna send Katie some clips.
Oh, I've sent her
no.
Snapchats of what I've been like watching all those shows, and she's like, I don't know what any of this is. I'm not watching this.
It is American television.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess any final thoughts from everybody on the Hell House trilogy?
This is a Hell House LLC stan account.
That's it.
Yeah, we want everyone to watch Hell House LLC at least once. Every single person listening, if you want a good scare, turn the lights off, turn everything off, turn that bitch on the big screen, right? Turn your volume up, or turn the lights off. Put the headphones in.
Ooh, I like that.
Wrap yourself like a burrito, and put the earphone, like the little AirPods or whatever y'all got in. It's gonna be effective. There's some parts that are kind of, all right, and the characters are gonna make some stupid ass choices. Because if I was them, I would have been left that fucking house. That's stupid. Like, what are you talking about? All it takes is one too many creaks in the middle of the night, bitch, and I'm sleeping in the car. That's it. But it's a good time. The clown is a wild boy. That's all I got. That's literally it. The other two, watch at your own risk.
For me, the minute someone's like, "You want to come help build this haunted house?" I'm like, "Fuck no."
I'm down, except for like if they were like, "Do you want to come help me build this haunted house in a haunted hotel that's called Abaddon?" I'd be like, "I don't think so. I've watched Supernatural. I know who Abaddon is."
Me too.
You go.
Although I stopped at like season 8.
I can't keep up. I know it's over now.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Because there's like a lot of seasons.
Jazz, you only have like 9 more seasons to watch.
Like, did they finish it? Because I felt like it was still going last time I checked.
Over,
No,
right?
it's over.
It's over.
It's
Okay.
over.
Except
but
they're doing a
already
spin-off.
starting to
Yeah.
do a spin-off.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's
15 more seasons.
it's gonna be
Let's
like
go.
The Walking Dead, where it's just
Yeah.
never gonna end. They're just gonna keep. It's gonna be The Walking Dead : some other title,
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, because Supernatural, the way it's set up, they could go forever, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't go forever,
No.
but they can because of the lore they're using. They could literally just
Yeah.
stop the story and just hunt random werewolves and banshees for 15 episodes if they want to, because that's how like season 1 was. But
I've never seen an episode, so I have no idea.
wow, okay.
Wow.
I am a Supernatural fan account also, so
I got no problem with it.
too.
I'm just
I'm
like
here.
it started at a point where I was like, this doesn't look like I'm going to enjoy this. And then once like it got to the point where it had like that fan base where everyone was like, "This is really good," I was like, I'm not watching 9 seasons of this to get caught up.
I don't think it's for you. If I know anything about.
I could watch that,
Your taste.
or I could rewatch Flavor of Love for the 30th time. So
There you go.
Oh my god.
Easy choice.
You get your change.
My final thoughts are, I think the first one's worth watching, like, especially since it's free. Just pop it on and give it a try. I think leave the other two. Pretend they don't exist.
I say skip 1 and 2, go straight to 3.
Oh
Have no idea what's happening with all of the flashbacks in it, and like all of the cuts to shit that happened before, and then see if you could piece it together.
Why not?
Creepy puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a hot take. Go straight to 3. That is, because where do we go? Oh, from here.
Dun, dun.
Like, where are you going? Because they've already established all this random ass exposition in the fucking second one. There were so many
Read about it.
monologues.
They can read about it.
We just like we did a month where we did sequels to movies that we hadn't seen any of the previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was just like I was thinking about that. I was like, would this movie make any fucking sense whatsoever if you just went straight to 3 and watched that?
No, it would not.
It kind of barely made sense to me, even though I saw the other two. So I think no. But would it have made it better? Maybe, because you're just so confused. You're like I don't know, unsettled.
You're nodding like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I think I know what's going on. I don't know. I think what's happening.
All right. So we are going to jump over, continue our Halloween movies conversation with on Girl That's Scary, where we had them watch Trick or Treat, the 1986, I think, movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under Wraps,
Trick
the
or treat.
the Disney horror movie, Disney Channel horror movie, and then House 2, The Second Story.
Yeah.
I guarantee everybody can pick who picked those movies each. But yeah, we will be.
Yeah.
So like our episodes come out on Mondays and y'all's come out on Thursdays, right?
Yes.
So,
but
well, go ahead.
I will say, I mean, because of the way we're dropping this, we could release it on the same day.
We can do it the same day.
Yeah, because it's going to be on Patreon, but no paywall, so you could just go to Patreon for the free ski and look at it. So I'm like, we could probably just drop it on Monday as well. So then you could watch part 2 on the same day.
All right, there you go. We'll figure it out off record.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, either way, you should be listening to Girl That's Scary anyway. If you're not already caught up, waiting for this episode to drop, what are you doing? Do you want to tell people where they can find all your guys' shit at?
Yeah. So we're at Girl That's Scary on Instagram and Twitter. We got a little website, www.girlthatscary.com. We have Patreon content. Some of that shit is free, so you ain't got to pay. You just pull up, and there's shit on there for the free ski.
I love free stuff.
Me too. We have a letterbox, and if you see our letterbox, it is chaotic because me and Kat are putting movies, but a lot of it is me up at 1 a.m. like, wow, I can't sleep, time to watch this random fucking movie, and then it's me going, oh my god, I fucking hated it,
and then I come in like a random now you see all the movies that I watch secretly while you're sleeping. Good afternoon.
Yes. And I'm like, I said Patreon. I think that's all the important stuff. That's it. Pull up on those things.
And obviously you should be supporting. I hope you suffer, because if not, I will find you and fight you in the parking lot.
Yep. I'm following up. Kicking you in the ankles.
Yeah, go follow, listen to all that shit for Girl That's Scary. You can follow us on all the normal things I say every episode. patreon.com/IHopeYouSufferPodcast, all that shit. But yeah, we'll jump over there and we will talk about 3 more movies. Yeah, thanks for coming back on again, Kat and Jazz.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
All right, I hope you suffer, but Hell House, I don't know, they got away from me.
I hope you
suffer LLC.
House.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
We're a corporation now.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
Professional.